Hey guys, Eric Sargent, General Manager at Ed Martin Toyota in Nevillesville, Indiana. And today we're going to show off the Westcott Designs roof rack for an LC250. Let's get started. So for the roof rack, we decided to use the Westcott Designs roof rack for a couple of different reasons. The first and foremost honest reason is that they were one of the first ones that was available to market. We actually have had a chance to kind of compare it against the Toyota OEM one and the Prince roof rack, and we'll do another separate video which we can link to for that. But one of the things that I really have liked about this roof rack, because I bought one for my personal 250, is the way that the wind fairing, it doesn't just stop right here, it actually cuts in. It adds a nice design element, it makes it look a little shorter than it actually is. But at the same time, it's a lot less wind noise, and they say that it gets you a little better fuel economy. When I say it has less wind noise, typically on any aftermarket roof rack, you're going to add additional wind noise, and this one probably is no exception to that. But when I got my personal 250, it came with the roof rack from the factory, and I can tell you that this is far less noisy than the Toyota OEM roof rack. And it starts right here, so you're actually really close to your ears, as opposed to the Toyota one that starts right behind the moonroof. So all in all, this is a great roof rack. I can tell you just from personal use on a couple thousand miles driving one already. Wind noise is absolutely stunning. No complaints whatsoever there. I can't comment too much on the fuel economy, but that's a claim that they do advertise. If you come back over here, you'll notice that it does have their kind of signature bottle opener on both sides. So now we're on top of the vehicle. Just to kind of highlight a couple of things, we have a total of 9 80/20 crossmember bars. This is the same amount that is in the Prinsu in terms of actual lateral, horizontally faced crossmembers. The one complaint that I have with this particular roof rack is it doesn't have any cutout slots for your bolt heads. So you are pretty much forced to either use a T-nut or T-bolt rather, or just removing the entire crossmember to get your nuts or your bolt heads inside there. That's really my biggest and only complaint on this. There is a 10th crossmember right here by the shark fin. One thing that I would like to point out that's really, and I'm sure this was an intentional design, but it was something that I found to be quite nice, is my typical question when I'm selling a vehicle that's either lifted and or with a roof rack is how tall is it? Is it going to fit in my garage? And so that's one of the first things that I measure. And when you're measuring a roof rack, the easiest way of measuring it is how much higher is it than the highest point on the vehicle. And obviously the highest point on the vehicle is always going to be the shark fin antenna. So on the 10th crossmember right here for structural, which also is mounted vertically, which is actually really cool versus some of the other ones on the market where they're mounted just normal horizontal. So you do have 2 rails here for mounting your accessories, which is really kind of cool. As opposed to if it was mounted horizontally like these ones, then you would only have the one lateral channel here for mounting an additional accessory. So I actually like this function, but I don't think that's the reason why they did it. I think the reason why they did it is because when I went to measure how much taller the roof rack is versus the shark fin, actually got my tool out to measure it, but unfortunately the tool is actually bigger than the gap. So I don't know if you can see it on the B-roll of this particular gap here, but it's basically about the width of a credit card. So it's almost, I would say maybe 1 or 2 millimeters thick. So this, and the reason that you're getting that additional thickness, and this is probably what Westcott Designs did when they engineered this, is that this rear crossmember, the 10th one that's almost non-functional for cargo load, more so just for accessories, is it's mounted at an angle a little bit. And so that angle is actually perfectly level right here with the back of this fairing, and it's slightly at an angle. And if it didn't have that angle there, then it actually would, the shark fin would technically be a little bit taller. But because this right here sits up just a tiny bit higher than this crossmember here, it gives it just enough of a slope to not touch the shark fin antenna. So very cool design, and maybe intentional or maybe coincidental, but I love having the additional use for additional accessories on this roof rack, and I like that it's so low profile, not only in the front with the wind fairing that cuts out, but also in the rear. So all in all, nice aluminum roof rack, low profile, low noise. So let us know what you think about the Westcott Designs roof rack for the LC250. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please ask in the section below. Please hit thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future Land Cruiser content.